I can, okay, take that off. Well, heck, I'll just. Good evening. I'm Pastor Chris from the congregation here. We're glad you're here. I asked Mr. Hollingsworth if I could say a couple of quick words because we are very grateful that you'd come out. And I'll turn, excuse my back, and thank you. We're very grateful you'd come out. This is a real treat for us, and we appreciate it. Our congregation wishes to be involved in the community and support, the arts and artists and musicians, and it is all a pleasure. So thanks for being here. I will turn things over to the maestro. And only say this is the second of what will definitely be an annual celebration because we're tickled you're here. Please take that in the spirit I intended. So.
Well, thanks for having us once again. We're going to get started with a short fanfare. Thank you so much. My name is Mark Hollingsworth, Director of Bands at Southwestern Michigan College, and I lead the group behind you, which is our SMC Brass Band. We're a group of primarily members of the community, all volunteer group. A handful of students typically populate the group, but our membership is kind of comes from far and wide, from some folks living in northern Indiana, up toward Kalamazoo, and all the way to the Lake Shore. So we meet together once a week on Wednesdays and put together a couple concert series a year. We're pleased to be here with you tonight as opening our holiday concert series. We're going to do another performance on Friday in the South Bend area, and then another one next Monday at Waterville High School. So glad that you're here. That was a Christmas fanfare by Goff Richards. And next in our program is a beautiful setting of Lo, How a Rose Ere Blooming. A few tunes tonight. They're going to feature some smaller section of the band or some soloists. Our first feature on the next tune, which is called Santa's Little Helpers, is our trombone section. So they're going to be seated over here. Going to hear them feature quite a bit throughout the evening. That's going to be Sean, Aaliyah, and Jeff on trombone. And here we go with Santa's Little Helpers. Look at them, ready to help out, all three of them. Thank you. Hopefully you had some fun with that one, give it a chance to participate a little bit. Lots of fun little solos in that one spread throughout the band. We're going to give the band a little bit of face break. If you're a brass player in the audience, raise your hand. Yeah, maybe there's a handful of you. You know what I'm talking about right now. So we're gonna just kind of talk a little bit about the instruments that you see in front of you right now. It's a brass band, and how many of you were here last year, just out of curiosity, for this event? Oh, great. So we got you to come back. So, and thank you for those of you that are coming for the first time. The brass band's kind of comes from the British tradition, where tons of towns across Europe will have, every town will have their little brass band. They even compete in such. But the instrumentation is pretty standard, and then what we have here is, from your left to right, we have our cornet section. So if we can hold up our B-flat cornets here. Yeah, our B-flat cornets. If you played trumpet, you probably are familiar with the cornet, and just a little bit of a darker sound. In fact, all these instruments are kind of a darker sound than maybe some of the more band type of instruments that we see here. We have our E-flat cornet, so all the high-flying stuff that you're hearing coming out of the cornet section is coming from Steve. In the back row there, we have our horn players. So we have a flugelhorn that's being played by Mary. It's kind of a cousin to the trumpet. And then we have the E-flat horns, which are baby little tubas, baby little baritones, but they fill out that alto section of the band, and they're kind of like the French horns of the like a symphonic band or an orchestra. Over to your left, we have a tuba. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Is the tuba. We have our euphonium and baritone section here in the front row, and then filling out the kind of tenor voices within the band are the trombones, our Santa's Little Helpers, and as well as the bass trombone, and a full complement of percussion instruments to your right. So that's kind of the instrumentation for this. It creates some really fun challenges for all the brass players that have to cover the violin and clarinet and flute parts of the band, like the orchestral music. We have to cover that here, so that creates some fun challenges for the members. Okay, hopefully that's given them enough time to get the blood back in their lips and be ready to play the next tune, which is. I think you'll know it when you hear it. You hear this one quite a bit around Christmas time, the Ukrainian Bell Carol. Our next selection is a beautiful setting of one of my favorite Christmas tunes, which is "O Holy Night," and it's going to feature on the soprano cornet Mr. Steve Bizzo, and you're going to hear some of that high flying, but in a really beautiful, lyrical, lovely way. "O Holy Night." Well, it's pretty warm for December 10th or whatever today is outside, but we're going to warm it up even more. We're going to take you down to the islands and do a little calypso. If you want to dance a little bit, you can, but it's going to be fun. It's called Mary's Bow Child. One more time for Dan McCaffrey. One more time for Dan McCaffrey. Great work on the claves, Dan. Appreciate that. All right, so we got a couple more tunes for you. And our last featured soloist of the night is Danny Lopez. Danny's our trumpet instructor at Southwestern Michigan College and holds a similar responsibility at some other places in the area. And it's going to be featured on a fun jazz arrangement of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And only about 16 nights. All right. Yes. This is question and answer time right now, everybody. Oh, does somebody have a question? Oh, yeah. Yeah, great question. So, how many of you are current or former music educators in some fashion or another? Or future, how about that? We got some future up here, too. This is a time for comments, too. All right, Barb, what do you got?
Okay. I spent some time in Germany. Back here, I have had exchange students.
Mm-hmm.
This band is very much like local bands in Germany because their students do not have the opportunity of music instruction in their secondary schools. They've got to do it on their own or anyway, local bands are like this one, of all ages, multi-generational, and it's wonderful to see that.
Yep.
Also, having had an exchange student from Finland, the joy of coming to America as a teenager was being in our high school band because she didn't have that opportunity at home. And one of the highlights of her time here in America was in the marching band from the very beginning through the marching season. The highlight of it was when she got to carry the flag when the football team made a touchdown one time. They were running from one end of the field to the other.
They don't have that either.
And you are making experiences for people, all of you. And I just want you to know I really think that's wonderful.
Well, thank you for saying that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think it is worth noting that the way that we set up music education in this country is much different than the rest of the world, and it is, even though it seems like it's getting chipped away at, it's still a lot more part of our schools. So we do want to keep it that way. And like I said, we have a couple of students up here that are a couple of players that are going to be teaching your kids and grandkids in just a year or two when they get done with their school. So time to pass the torch, so to speak. So thank you for saying all of that, and we're grateful to be here and to play for you all. We have our last tune is Christmas Festival, and it's going to have a lot of carols within the festival. Now the band can help me remember which ones first, and do your best to sing along with us. If you and we get to them, I'll kind of try to lead you. But right off the bat is "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," yeah. Or Joy to the World, sorry. Hark, Joy to the World. Then what's next? Hark the Herald. And then what's next? God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Skylar, you should know all these. So should I. What's after that? Oh, yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so I'll point to you, and if you know the words, good for you. Try to sing along with us. Here we go. we do have one more song. All right. Thanks for being a great audience. Happy holidays to all of you, and thanks for inviting us into your church to play again this year. We do hope to come back next December and come out to SMC sometime next semester and hear a concert with some of the other groups on campus. Okay. Thanks again for being here. We're going to close with the Troy Pack, and I think you will be energized to move out the door after this one.